Hey guys, Nigel here with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench. Just my ugly mutt on your screen again, I'm sorry. Anyway, review time. So, last Sunday I went to one of my favourite shows, if not my favourite show, the Milton Keynes show. Up in Milton Keynes, obviously, in the, attached to the side of the football ground, which was a very, very great show. Wonderfully organised, amazing free parking. You sort of get there and there's all these people directing you and telling you where to go. It's absolutely incredible, really, really good. And it's right next to a McDonald's, a KFC, there's a Domino's pizza place around the corner, so your lunch and everything is all sorted. It's wonderful. It's a fantastic location for a model show. If anything, the lighting could be a bit better. Very strange, very weird lighting. Almost like a purple haze in there it was. But that's my only complaint about the thing. I think the lighting could be better. It's not we used to have the shows down in the Overton Air Museum. You could not see half the bloody models because it was so dark. Anyway, but no, fantastic show. Lots of good traders, brilliant stands. Saw some lovely built Lancasters there as well. So yeah, all round a good day. Whilst I was there, I was stood looking at the Panavia Tornado SIG stand, or obviously it was a table covered with tornadoes in all different scales, and waiting there to chat to a guy patiently while this other guy was chatting to him, and oh yeah, obviously big tornado fans and everything. And then all of a sudden, hello Nige, along comes Phil Fisk. Phil Fisk is a name you may have seen in the comments. He's been following me pretty much, I think, since day one. He's also a patron, so it's thank you very much for that, Phil. And didn't realise that Phil was actually a builder of tornadoes, and he actually had 3 there that he just recently built. Apparently he's built 5 on the trot. God. So yeah, really, really nice to see him. And I just basically wanted to ask the question. People talk about the Italeri tornado in 32nd scale and issues, but I've never heard anyone actually say what the actual real issues are. So, and I haven't watched any reviews, and Phil told me about a fit issue with the kit and the difference in the GR4 and the ECR, IDS, whatever it is, and blah 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 blah, and all this, that and the other. And he said it's thought to be overpriced. It's got a retail of 140 odd quid. Well, you look on eBay, you can get them for like £100. And he said, that's all right, Nigel, no issue, I'll send you one. He actually bought a little batch of them, a small batch. I think it was 3 or 4. He said, I'm never going to build them all. You may as well have one, and you can have one for what I paid for it. So thank you very much. Brilliant. And today it's turned up in the post. So thanks very much, Phil, if you're watching this, and I'm sure you are. So without further ado, here's the box. It came, as you know, I'm a big stickler for packaging, and it came in a lovely, lovely cardboard box. The little bit of damage on there, as you can see, is from me picking off the address label. But yeah, absolutely awesome. So I haven't opened it. You can see it's still all sealed up. I haven't looked inside. Phil has messaged me on Patreon, and he's told me he's put some little extras in there. Let's have a look and see what he's put in there, and then you guys can tell me what they're all for. Because although I used to work for Rolls-Royce, as some of you know, and I've done a hell of a lot of work with the RB199, which is the engine that goes in the Tornado, and I actually did a lot of work with the EJ200 as well, and I also did some work on the F-35 engine. It was known then as JSF, Joint Strike Fighter, but most of my work was around the RB199, and I would say the Pegasus as well, certainly around the period of the first Gulf War. My God, we were working all the hours that God gave. So to get the bits out for the 199s, to keep the Tornadoes flying, and the Harriers for the Pegasus engine as well. So without further ado, let's get to the overhead camera and see what's in this box. Right, so here we are. We've got the box and cut into the tape, and we will. Oh, look at this! Oh, thank you, Phil. He's obviously watched. Well, he told me he watches a lot of my videos. So he obviously knew that if it was bad packaging, I'd moan about it, because I moan about everything. This is not bad packaging. This is awesome packaging. Look at this. So let me get this unwrapped. You want to watch me unwrap this, and then I'll come back. Righty guys, here we are. Got all the packaging off, and what a lovely, lovely box art that is. Really nice painting. So this is obviously the ECR version. But apparently, as I say, there are more bits in the box than I care to throw a stick at. Aeronautica Militaris, that's the Italian Air Force. So we've got a Luftwaffe one in the back here. This is the NATO Tigers. That looks very nice with all the tiger stripes on the drop tanks and everything. Or the wing tanks, should I say. And then this one here is an Italian version, and we've got black and white shark's mouth on the front there. Nice flash on the fin, and the Italian markings on the wings. So very, very nice indeed. And we've also got some armaments here. We've got drop tanks, we've got some missiles there. Not sure what they are. There's some sort of thing. I'm sure someone will tell me. So looking around the box, I'm sorry about the reflection. It's an Italeri box, so it's not very flat. It's very, very glossy, and whatever I put it, I'm going to get light reflecting on it. So there we go. So here we've got the three versions we can see here. So we got the two Italian versions at the top there, and then we've got the German NATO Tigers one at the bottom. Very, very nice. We've got some lovely decal sheets here by the look of it, but apparently there are even more in this box because Phil's chucked some more in for me apparently. And then we've got some health and safety stuff there. Well, that's a story about the Tornado in English, German, Spanish, Italian, and la la la. And then end of the box, I don't think I can even get it in focus, but basically you've got the, oh, it does focus, blimey, that's only about an inch away from the lens. You can see there we've got the sort of box art on the end of the box, and then on here we've got the health and safety stuff, 14 plus, recycle the box, 2021, so it's a fairly new kit. And also here we've got the actual pictures of the kit rather than CAD models, which is always nice to see. You know, when you see the actual model, you see what you're getting rather than what the computer designed. So you can see here we've got tanks, Cerberus pods for version C, movable variable geometry wings and pylons. So I'm assuming the pylons go with the wings, do they? IFF antennas, ECM antenna, we've got the refueling probe out there. So we've got some harm missiles, we've got a recon pod, we've got an openable radome with fully detailed radar, so that's a nice touch. We've got the air brakes up there, we've got open or closed thrust reversers. I remember seeing these on the rear engines at Rolls-Royce. I think they're made by Fiat. Looks like we've got a lot of photo etch in the cockpit there. Apparently the seats need to be replaced. Apparently the seats are too wide. I don't know. We've got a forward-looking infrared pod there, and you can see there's an image of the photo etch sheet that you're getting in the kit there. So very nice indeed. So let's have a look inside the box and see what we've got. As I say, this isn't necessarily what you're going to get from the shop, because we can already see there's a lot of extras in here. So we have alternative instructions if you want to do GR4 RAF. Oh, thanks Phil, you're a gem. Look at this, he's put a couple of decal sheets in here as well. So there's just the one decal sheet, not a couple. But we've got the RAF markings here for different versions. So that's a very nice touch. Dallas Stew. We've got a little dog there, look. Very nice indeed. So this is the decal sheet from the GR4 kit. So you can see the we'll just have a very quick look. The options available. Okay, it's a separate, bloody hell, it's a separate book. So we've got Danger Mouse there, Iraq 2003. We've got 617 dam busters, that's interesting, nice to see. Afghanistan 2010, and then we've got the Gold Stars LME Gaia del Colle in Italy 2011. And then we've got here the final one with a nice black tail and that big bat on there. This is the Tornado Farewell Special Livery 2019. This was the farewell livery for the last one that flew, I'm guessing. And then we've got all the instrument panel and cockpit detail there. And then we've got all the pylons. I believe the pylons are different on the RAF versus the others. And then we've got our weapons loadout there. So we've got some GBU-12s, tanks, BOS 107s. That's what was on the front of the box that I didn't know what it was. Sky Shadow and AIM-9Ls. So I got a feeling they don't use those anymore, do they? I'm not sure. I'm sure somebody will tell me. So that's the GR4 stuff. So if you get in the GR4 kit, you will get those options and these instructions, which as you can see, Phil has written on the front, alternative instructions if you want to do a GR4. Thank you, Phil, you're a star. He's also given me an additional sprue, so if I want to do the GR4, there's some weapons there that I'll need. So, not sure if he's kept something there or if that's something that Italeri cut off the sprue. Oh, this looks like something's broken off the sprue. And then we've got some more parts here. He's also put those parts in, so we've got some fleur pods by the look of it, and a little gun part there. Photo etch sheet. So this is, I'm not sure if this is what he's put in for the GR4 or if this is just standard what comes with the kit. We'll have a look at it in a minute. We've also got some quick boost seats that he's put in for me. He's an absolute star, isn't he? Because apparently, as I say, the kit seats are apparently too wide. So this is the ECR colour call out, and this is the ECR instructions, and then this is all the ECR plastic. So we'll get all that put to one side. We'll have a look through the instructions. Alright, so we have a lovely paper printed manual, 56 pages. Wow. So this is going to be very nice indeed. So I was just thinking why they've got that tail painted black, but they haven't. It's because this is the model unpainted, but we've got the black bands on the in the instructions there. So you can see there, kit number 2517. Obviously, this is the ECR version. So going into the instruction manual, starts off here with some history of the Tornado and telling you what it's all about. And then we've got some lovely sprue call outs here. So all very clearly printed in black and white, no glossy paper, which is nice to see. And all the parts are numbered, so that's good if you need to, you know, if you cut these two bits off the sprue and you need to find out which was which, you can look in there and identify which was which. And then again, going over the page here, we've got sprue call outs. This is sprue G. Is that the extra sprue he gave me? Yes. So we've got sprue G, and it's telling you don't need any of this. Okay, so don't quite know why he's given me an extra one of these. We shall see. Maybe you get 3 of those in the GR4 kit. And then we've got more sprues over here, as you can see, and we've got a lovely PE sheet there. Straight into the instructions now. We're straight into the cockpit, and we're building up the seat, which apparently is a very nice seat, but apparently it's a little too wide. And then you can see there, adding in the photo etch harnesses and everything, which are going to look very nice indeed. I'd recommend annealing them so you can get some nice bends in them, so they're not all flat and sort of two-dimensional. And then we're building up the cockpit itself. So we've got the side consoles, everything in here. It looks like it's all moulded on, so you're going to need to do some real trick painting, or you can go with your aftermarket. I've actually got the Red Fox Studio set for the IDS GR1. So yeah, we'll have to see if that will fit in this kit. And then we've got the nose gear being built up here. It looks like you have to add that in now because it goes in the sides. So unless you come up with some fancy way of putting a pin through or something, you're going to have to add that in now. But I should imagine it's going to be pretty substantial, and it looks very highly detailed with all the separate parts going on there. And then we're going to build up the actual nose gear itself. This is for the closed landing gear, so you're still going to need the box in there, and then you're going to put the doors in from the inside and have them all closed. And then this is for the gear down, adding in the door. You've got some little PE hinges there, which is a nice, not hinges, they're actuators. Very nice touch. And then we got vinyl tyres or plastic tyres. Yeah, right, they're going in the spares box. Apparently the wheels to get for this kit are the res kit ones, and I'm going to order some as soon as I know what I want, and then I can order decals and everything in the same order. Just pay for postage once. So building up the nose section, the fuselage there, sandwiching the cockpit and the nose gear together. And then we're building up the radar here, and you can see we've got this, is this the probe here? I'm not sure exactly sure what that is. That's part of the instrument panel there by the look of it. And they're trying to make a hole for versions B and C. And then we're going to start building up some boxes for the rear seated guy, the back seat guy. And then we've got some parts going on there. We've got the hood there. All very nice. It's telling you to modify parts and everything here, obviously from the GR4 kit. And then we've got here, we're going to build up our main landing gear into the bottom panel there. One of the issues, I know that if you want to have a look at a Tornado, a couple of them, Paul over at Plastic Monkey, his YouTube channel, he's built the 1/32 scale Revell kit, and he's done the Revell 1/48 kit, and done a lovely job of both of them. Let's go and have a look. But I know that when I was talking to him in a chat, we were talking about these undercarriage legs, and there's just no, you couldn't work out how they go together on the Revell kit. So yeah, but this all looks very nice. As I say, I saw some of these built up at Milton Keynes, and they did look very nice indeed. That was what made me want one, because they are so chunky. That's how they got the name Tonka. Intakes here, which is something you don't get with the Revell kit, so nice to see them. I may actually make a resin copy of them so I can put them in the Revell kit. And then we've got the wing gloves here going in. Can't see any alternatives for having wings open or closed, but looks like you've got the side panel detail on there is nice. So they've moulded this in sort of 4 sections so you get all the detail. Very nicely indeed. Then we're going to add the intakes into the belly, and then we're going to add our side panels on here, and we've got some, you're having your panels there open or closed in the intake doors. And then we've got some actuators going in here. That's very weird. We've got a piece in there with a pin coming through the side of the fuselage. So you've got your elevons or elevons, you call them? I'm sure if they're one piece, I think they're called elevons. Tell me in the comments below. But they're actually movable. Looks like they won't be very strong either. So it's a shame you say we couldn't add those later. Maybe put something between them or something. I don't know. We shall see. Engines going together, RV199 engine that I've worked on so much. I could tell you stories about this for hours. I probably will when I build it. And those beautiful actuators on the outside for the thrust reversers, they're lovely. I've never known another aircraft with that sort of thing that opens up and comes round. Oh yeah, there is. I think they had them on the old BAC 111, didn't they? And then we've got extracted thrust reverser configuration. So this is with it open. So the thrust reverser is open, and this is with them retracted. So extracted and retracted. So basically they sit on top and below the engine, and when they're open they come out like a big pair of butterfly wings. And then we've got the 2 engine configuration, or 1 engine configuration. I'm guessing you can have 1 engine out if you want on display. So so they're all 2 engine configuration. They never built a single engine Tornado, as far as I know. So that's all going together there. So you've got some lovely engines there, but unfortunately you won't be able to see anything once it's all closed up. I'm sure you can open up a couple of panels. And then we've got the back end there, we've got the intakes there, which are going to go through into the intakes there. And I think you actually do see them when you look down through the intakes from the front of the aircraft. You're going to see the front of the engine, so they're going to look lovely. There we go, the retracted thrust reversers going in. We've got little PE panels going in there. God, gorgeous. Really nice job on those. So that's going to be retracted, so that's like that with them flat across the top and bottom of the engine. And then I'm guessing I'll go over the page, and there we are, we've got them extracted. So that's got them open like that, and sort of like closed doors behind the engine so that the thrust actually was diverted forwards. And then we've got a little stand here being built up to put the engine on, which is nice. Nice touch. And then we've got a bulkhead going on there. I remember making those, well not making those, but I remember seeing those. And then we've got the engine there. You can have it with the retracted or extracted and on the stand. You've got many different options. The only trouble is I don't think they give you a 3rd exhaust. So it'd be nice to have the 3rd exhaust so you could actually have the aircraft display fully built, but also have an engine in front of it. So that's a consideration. Perhaps have the engine on display without that on there. And then we've got the wings going together here. Looks like we've got that actuator in there, which is going to make the weapons pivot with the wings. That's a nice touch. Make sure you get them right around, because I would imagine the length will be different on them. Otherwise you're going to end up with your weapons sort of like this when the wings are swept, and then as you open your wings up they're going to sort of go like this or something, or be all out. You want them to stay parallel as the wings open. And then we've got is that spoilers on there? I believe that's the top of the wings. Yes, of course that's the top of the wings. That's going to be spoilers on there. So you can have those open or closed. Nice touch. And then we've got the same, we've got the slats here. So you can have slats open or closed. I have actually seen a picture of a Tornado on the ground, and I had the slats out, flaps down, spoilers down, fueling probe out. So that may be the way they park them. And then we've got the same here for the other side. On the other side we've got the slats there. So all very nice indeed. Very, very lovely detail in there by the look of it. And then you can have your air brakes here on the back of the fuselage. You can have them closed, like they're shown here. And then you've got these pivots here. You're adding that only for version A. Not sure what that's all about. And then you've got the air brake open configuration, so you can build up your air brakes. You've got the actuators in there, so you can have them open. You can build a really interesting display with this, guys, I tell you. Oh, we've got screws there for the actual wings to pivot on. I hope the screws are nicer than the crap they give you in the Lancia Delta kit, because they are a joke. Very nice indeed. So, lovely drawings as well. All the panel lining is on there, like this drawn here, lovely. Here's an issue I'm going to talk about in a minute. This apparently is a proper issue with the build. Talk about that in a second. And then we're going to start work on the fin. We've got those cooling intakes there on the side, going together. So it's telling you to cut and drill holes and all that. You have to be very, very careful. Separate rudder, which is a nice touch, so you can have that slightly off. And then we've got little, that's nice, vortex generators here in PE. Thanks, Italeri. Instead of moulding great lumps of plastic on there. Nice one. And then we've got the spine of the aircraft there, so you're not going to have any seams to deal with. So that's a nice touch, one piece. Adding all that on. And then we've got the intakes, the forward intakes going on there, and you've got the doors open or closed again. And then again you've got doors open or closed here for the other side. Then we're adding on the gloves for the wings. Now I'm not sure if you're just going to have one choice of gloves, because the wings do actually retract, they move. I'm not sure what's going on there. Wheels and tyres, again, you want to replace them. It does look like you're getting some tyre lettering and stuff on the vinyl tyres, but not on the plastic ones. So we shall see. Don't use vinyl tyres. Yeah, horrible. Undercarriage legs there look nice and strong. And they're doing the same on the other side. And then here we've got undercarriage doors going on. You've got your landing light in there, which is a nice touch. Bit of PE to hold the light in place. And you've got the actuator there for the door. Oh, lovely. And then doors closed. And then we're adding some bits and pieces here. There's going to be lumps and bumps all over the bottom. And then we've got the doors here open or closed for whatever's inside there. I don't know if that's a gun bay or what it is. And then we've got a arrestor hook on a Tornado. I never knew they had that. And then we've got pylons. Make sure you check your references, because the pylons apparently on the British and the other versions are different. And then we've got different weapons going on, more pylons. It's probably just going to be, yeah, it's all weapons and pylons now, look. So lots of stuff going on. Lots and lots of stuff. Lots of stuff going on there. Beautiful drawings, as I say. And then we've got the refueling probe there, so you can have the refueling probe extracted or retracted. So that's very nice. I think they mean extended, not extracted. But then, mind you, their English is a lot better than my Italian. And then we've got all these little bits and pieces here going on, and they're certain for certain models and that. Check your references, because the manufacturers sometimes get this wrong. And then going over the page here, we're adding the clear parts, adding the canopy. We've got a lot of in-canopy interior detail. Rear view mirrors in there. We've got a pitot tube for the front. Probably get a metal one for that. And then you've got the open canopy configuration, so everything's the same. Looks like it's all the same, it's just that you add that in. So you could probably have the canopy removable if you want to. And a nice touch here, we've got a boarding ladder there, which is a nice touch. And there we go. I didn't notice at any point, did we actually add... I didn't notice us adding the windscreen, but there we go. So that's the instructions taken care of. Well, we've been a long time on them. And then here we've got the decal fitting and painting guide. So have a quick look at the decal sheet here. So there's two decal sheets in it. Yeah, there's two of them. And they are very, very nice indeed. I'll give you a close-up of those. You can see there, that's for the German NATO Tigers version. And then we've got some generic weapons details at the bottom. It looks like, yeah, they are Cerberus, AIM-9Ls, AGM-88s. So that's generic weapons decals there. Then we've got another one here with all our Tiger meat decals on. So we've got some stenciling and everything here. This is going to be for the Italian Air Force. And then we've got some more stencils for our pylons down the bottom. Lots and lots of stencils. So with the extra decals that Phil's put in for me, wow. So what we'll have to have a look in here now. This is our colour callouts. So there's this is the version A, so this is Italian Air Force 6th store 155th group, Gedi Montechiari Air Base 2019. You can see lots and lots of stencils, my god, amazing. I do like stencils. And then version B here, again, Italian Air Force. This is 50 Storm Operation Unified Protectors, Trapani Bergi Air Base, March 2011. So that's all very nice, again in that grey colour. We've got the shark's mouth on the front there, which is nice. And then going over the page, we have version C, which is the Luftwaffe Royal International Air Tattoo, Fairford, UK 2017. Got the NATO Tigers there. That's a very pretty looking version, isn't it? And then we've got all our weapons and cockpit detail there, so very, very nice. That's that Boz thing. AIM 9L. And then we've got some wing tanks here. We've got some tanks for version C with the tiger stripes on. Cerberus and AGM 88As. So different weapons between the GR4 and the ECR. And then we've got all our different pylons there. As you can see, I think these pylons are different. Have a look. But very nice indeed. And you can see what loads of stencil after stencil after stencil for your pylons. Look at them. Absolutely amazing. So with that said, let's get those decals protected back in there. Get that over there. And then we'll have a look at the kit. Okay, just looking through the instructions to see what the differences are. I'm kind of wondering why Phil sent me this sprue, because they both have two of these sprues and they look to be identical. They just call it, you can see that on here, you've got this area here. This is the GR4 on the bottom and this is the ECR on the top. And here you've got this is Cerberus and the AGM shaded out there, whereas on the GR4, whereas on the ECR version you've got these here shaded out, and these here are being used on the GR4. So not exactly sure what they're called. I'll have a look in a minute. And then we've got these here. They look to be bunker busters to me. They don't get used at all by looking at any of them. And also these down here, and these here don't get used on either of them. So very interesting. So there's obviously another version in the pipeline, or another version that's come out that I don't know about. But it seems that the major difference between the GR4 and the ECR is this F sprue here, because you get two of them. But on the GR4 you get these wing tanks here, and on the ECR you get these wing tanks here. So unless the sprue has actually got all of that on, they're just showing it like that, then I can't do a GR4 anyway, because I don't have the GR4 wing tanks. So that's absolutely fine. The other differences I noticed over here on the clear parts, you have these two clear parts here, 19 and 20 in the GR4, and you don't get them on the ECR. And also up here, you've got this area here you can see, which on the ECR you don't get. Okay, you can see up there, it's just left empty, there's nothing there, and you've got those lumps and bumps there. And I'm assuming these clear parts are for those lumps and bumps. And then here there's a blank, you can see there's a part missing here from the GR4, but on the ECR you get it, that's more lumps and bumps. It looks like that's a gun door cover or something, and that's another pod of some sort. So Phil, thank you very much, he's actually put those parts in. So I've got those parts there to add to that sprue should I want to, and then I can make the GR4 version, or I can make an ECR version because I've got those parts there, which the GR kit doesn't. So there we are. So what I may have to do is go and get a GR4 kit and make a mould of the wing tanks if I want to do a GR4. We shall see. I may even already have some in the spares box. But that looks like the major differences there. It looks like there's no difference here with the vinyl parts at all. The only difference with the clear parts is those there. There's no difference with the PE. These sprues are all the same. These sprues are different. Going over the page and just having a look, it looks like these are all the same. I can't see any differences here at first glance. They all look to be the same. So the differences are basically, in case you're wondering, if you're thinking about which kit to get and what arms you want and everything, or what tanks you want, because you're getting the same armament with both by the look of it. It's this here is different. You can see on the two kits that's different. Those bits there and those little clear parts there. Other than that, it looks like the kits are identical. Okay, so let's have a look at some plastic. The first one to come out is Sprue, I'm not sure what this one is, D. Just came off the top of the box. So cut this one open on the end here. There we go. Get this one out of its bag. You can see in there we've got the clear parts as well. And I'm hoping they're not scratched. It all looks to be a bit sort of damaged. It's sort of typical Italeri. They don't take as much care as some of the manufacturers with their parts. We'll look at those in a minute. But here's the Sprue D. As you can see, everything's still attached. Nothing's broken off. Tiny little bit of flash over here. You can see wing gloves there with the separate petals on them, so that's really nice. Intakes there. I hope we haven't got injector pin marks. Yes, we have. Massive injector pin marks on the inside, and they all look to be recessed, so they're going to need to be filled. But hey ho, every kit's the same these days, except for Models Vet. And then we've got the nose panel there by the look of it. And we've got some doors and actuators, doors on them, and other panels and stuff. Lovely rivet detail on here. All looks very crisp. All looks very sharp. Very nice indeed. Looks like part of the trolley there for your engine stand. Main gear there with all the lines moulded on, which is a nice touch. Main gear actuators there by the look of it. All looks very strong. Maybe I don't think metal gear would be necessary for this. Looking at that. And then we've got your internal doors here. We've got this is the nose gear by the look of it. Got some lovely rivet detail on there. I'm guessing that's part of the gear base, I'm guessing. That's just a guess looking at it initially. But give you a close up of some of the detail. You can see on there, lovely rivet detail, lovely detail on the inside of that nose gear door. Nose gear bay, should I say. You can see on there the sort of cutaways on the wing gloves. We've got the bulkhead there for the engine intakes to go into. You can see there undercarriage legs. Tiny little bit of flash, but nothing much at all. As I say, on the back, intake's got huge ejector pin marks, but not to worry about that. So put that through over there. I'll look at these clear parts. Let's just check they're not scratched. No, they're absolutely fine. It just looked like they were scratched because you can see the damage on the bag. It's all been knocked about, but luckily the clear parts are absolutely fine, and they are very clear indeed. Let's put that behind there, and then you can look through that clear part and you can see there's no distortion at all. Very nice, beautiful clear parts. No mould seam along the top. There is some very slight scratching there, but nothing to worry about. Yeah, beautiful clear parts. Very nice indeed. Looks like there's a whole bit of the sprue missing there. And also it looks like I've got those bits that they say you're not going to get. Looks like I've got them in there. So thanks Phil. If you want me to send these other clear bits back to you, I will. But it looks like, if you remember in the instructions, that piece there was missing. But it looks like they've decided to just make the one clear sprue from now on. Which makes sense. Why bother changing a tool out to not give those two parts to somebody who's got the ECR? And I need to put that separate over there so it's out of the way. Photo etch parts, and there's a couple of tiny screws in the back of there. Make sure you haven't lost those out of your kit. But I don't need to get these out of the bag. You can see them there. They're lovely. All those lovely veins and everything there. I do need to get them out because of all the light reflecting. Come on. Right, make sure I don't lose those screws out of there. Will you please come out? Thank you very much. Still got the two screws in there. So there we are. You can see on there you got the etch detail on those. Those are those stiffeners inside the thrust reverser doors. Got some seat belt detail down there, which I won't be using because I've got resin seats. Thank you to Phil. And then we got some. That looks like detail for the step there. And then we got the wireless operator's gear there. These are some bits for the actuators, for the thrust reversers, and then there's some parts there for ammunition. So what the rest of it is, I don't know. I think they're the those little PE vortex generators for the fin. Very nice they've done those in PE, so thanks for that, Italeri. So lovely looking kit. I'm going to put this away and seal it back up so I don't lose those screws. Oops, I've just caught that part there. Broken away from the fret. It's trying to tear itself off now. I'll deal with that in a minute. So the next sprue out the bag is Sprue C. So this is all our bits and pieces. Made the bags a bit tighter, eh? Wow. I don't know how they've managed to heat seal these with them so close to the sprue. Get rid of that. Here we've got all our beautiful massive fin. You can see how big that is next to my hand. So very nice indeed. All beautifully moulded. We've got the nose gear there. We have got some flash on here starting to come in. It's probably the tool's getting a bit worn. Got relevons there. It looks like damage, but it's not. It's detail. Very nicely done. Lovely sharp, very sharp panel lines and very nice rivet detail. Really nicely done. Got a rudder there in 2 halves again. Lovely, lovely detail. Panel lining may be slightly on the heavy side, but the riveting's lovely. And I must be honest, you know, after spending a good 10-15 minutes looking at them at Milton Keynes, not once did I think, oh, that panel line looks heavy. So obviously with a coat of paint and everything, and when they're weathered and that, they look wonderful. We've got there, we have, I'm not exactly sure what they are, but they've got some huge sink marks in the middle of them. You can see in there, massive sink marks in there. But probably not going to notice under a matte coat of paint because they're so even. They're not like right on the edge or anything. They're right in the middle of the panel, so they should be absolutely fine. If you want to fill them, you can. It'd be no problem. But just show you that rivet detail on there. See, it's lovely. Panel lining and riveting. Very, very nice indeed. Very sharp. Very crisp. We've got all that lovely rivet detail on the fin as well. You can see here. If I can get it in the light. There you go. Very, very nice indeed. Looks like a lovely kit, this one. Looks to be a lot nicer than the Revell. Having said that, it's more than 3 times the price of the Revell. But, you know, as I say when I do my Lancaster comparisons, if the kit's inaccurate, wrong, or just bad, it doesn't matter how many times cheaper it is. Why would you want it over the better one if you could afford the better one? So it's a bit like, you know, if you had a £50,000 budget for a car, you wouldn't go and buy a Fiesta, would you? Right, so here we've got some lovely detail on here. Very, very crisp indeed. Very sort of, it's reminding me of Kitty Hawk. It's lovely. Very, very crisp. Very, very sharp detail. So we've got the undercarriage bays there. So that panel that I was talking about earlier, I don't know what that was. That was wrong. And we've got obviously the belly there, and we've got the upper section of the rear fuselage there. Beautiful air brake detail there. It's lovely plastic as well. It feels very nice. We've got the side panels there with all the lovely detail in them. Beautifully done. Undercarriage doors, undercarriage bays. There's our thrust reversers there. Very nice indeed. No ejector pin marks on the inside of them. We've got some raised rivet detail. Wow, Italeri, calm down. Raised rivet detail. We've got some huge Z pins there that have to be broken off. And then we've got the lovely detail on the inside of the gear doors. And you can see they've made a very hard job of, they've worked very hard at getting rid of the ejector pins in those gear doors. They've just left a slight witness of them. There's 3 of them down the middle of each one. But they've, I mean, fair play to them. Like sand, they're going to be gone. Are they gear doors or air brakes? They're air brakes. So if you're not having them up, it doesn't matter anyway. Very lovely indeed. I'll just give you a close-up again of that lovely crisp crisp detail on there. Very nice indeed. Very, very nice. Looking like a lovely model, this one. Got to look at these vinyl tyres. Lovely. Aren't they lovely? Right. So I've got 3 sprues in this bag, and it's like I haven't cut it open either. Yes, I have. Blimey. I don't know how they got these heat shrunks so tight. So, to get these off to one side. So we've got 2 of these identical sprues. I've actually got 3 because Phil generously put a spare one in for me. So that's the G sprue. So you can see on there we've got all our weapons. I'm not even going to try and remember the names of them. I think these are AGMs, aren't they? I'm not going to try and remember the names, but I do remember that these here and these here don't appear to be used on any version. So there's obviously another version coming along. But we got those what look like bunker busters there, and they've got massive raised rivet detail on them. But they're going to be going in your spares box anyway. But you can see on here, Cerberus or something, aren't they, these? Lovely detail on them. Raised rivet detail, which is quite appropriate for the scale. Very nicely done. So, got some pylons there. We've got those rockets there. Very nicely done indeed. So, that's all good. And then here we've got our main sprue, which is it's trying to fall off. This is our sprue B, and this is obviously our wings. So we can see on here, what I'm going to have to do is hold that so it doesn't snap off. In fact, it'd be better off just grabbing a pair of cutters, cutting that off, rather than have it rip a chunk of plastic out. So put that to one side. So that's your sprue B there. We've obviously got our wing upper sections here, lower sections there with the holes for those twisty bits coming out for your pylons. And then we've got our separate leading edge slats on the side there, which are very nice indeed. And then we've got intakes here, which look lovely with the rivet detail in them. We've got some bits here with pipe work. I'm not sure what they are. We'll soon find out when we build it. We've got ramps there for the intakes by the look of it. So yeah, very nice indeed. You can see the detail on the upper wing surface. Maybe a little heavy, but under a coat of paint I think it's going to look absolutely great. Very, very nice indeed. It's all there, and you can see you've got the recessed areas there for the spoilers. And then you can have flaps down, slats out, everything. So as I say, I've seen a video on YouTube and one of these parked up. Spoilers down, slats out, flaps out, and refueling probe out. So there we go. And air brakes were also down. So not sure if there's a standard that they work to, but that's how that one was. Put that wing to one side so we don't get damage it. Here's our final bag. This is, I don't know why they have to do this. Why don't they? I guess it's saving the planet. Less plastic bags, isn't it? There we go. Let's have a look at this one. So we've got 3 sprues in here. It's all very nice indeed, and it looks like, oh no, I thought maybe we'd get both wing tanks, but we don't. So we'll put these over here out of the way. So here we've got the nose section. So we've got the beautiful big Tonka nose with all these panels here, and although that panel in detail does look quite heavy, I'll show you in a minute. It's you can actually see these lines on the real thing, so it's not like a bad kit or anything. There's something missing there. Yes, it's that, the nose cone, and luckily it hasn't ripped chunks of plastic out, but basically the nose cone would have been sat in there like so. So there's your nose cone with the streaks on it there. Very nice indeed. It's very nicely done. Put that over to one side. I'm building up a little pile of delicate parts here. So we've got the belly of the nose there. Obviously the top of the nose is moulded in one, so you'll have a seam line in the middle for what little bit of a seam you've got. Instruments there from the cockpit panel. Something missing from there. Something's been cut out. I'll have a look at the instructions of this, see if there's something from another kit in there. And then we've got the fairing there for the refueling probe. refueling probe itself. We've got, I know what that is. That's the bits that he sent me, which are underneath the bag here now, but that's the part of the sprue that he sent me for the GR4 version. So, thanks Phil. And I've got our instrument panels there. So I'm surprised we have the same instrument panel in an ECR as we do in a GR4. So I'm sure those of you out there are laughing at me now. And then we've got some more instrument bits and pieces here. More fairings there. And then we've got the actuators for the thrust reversers there. And these look like they're in the extended position, and those look like they're in the folded position. So very nicely done. Again, I'll show you in a second close up. I may even put some photos up at the end of the video. But yeah, you can see very nicely done. Very crisp. We can see there the cockpit with all that lovely detail. You can see it's all raised and very nice indeed. But you could actually, you know, the Red Fox set for this is going to be gorgeous. As I say, I've got the GR1 IDS version, which I obviously can't use on this. I'm not even sure if it's the same size. I will let you know. But there we go. So that's all. You see the beautiful panel line detail on that nose there, and all the rivet detail. So, and on the belly there, belly of the nose. All ready for putting some oils in and streaking back and everything. They're going to look lovely. Got some pylons there as well. And then finally, we have the F sprue, which has the wing tanks on it for the. This is the ECR version with the parts on the bottom half. The GR4 had the parts on the top half. So this is going to be the wing tanks for the ECR version. Got plastic tyres there again. I don't know why, but on the vinyl tyres they've got all the lettering and everything. On the plastic tyres they don't. We've got the wheels here, which apparently leave a little bit to be desired, so I'm going to get aftermarket wheels for it. We've got the RB199 engines there, which are lovely. Intakes there, which have got the snubbers on them and everything on the blades, which is nice. We've got the reheat ring there, back end of the exhaust, and there's a part of the pilot seat that's like to be wrinkled up, which is very nice, but I won't be using any of that. I'll put it all in the spares box. And then we've got that, that's that part that actuates the pylons so they stay parallel when the wings get folded. But yeah, very nice indeed. As I say, you get two of these. So you're probably getting 4 seats, I'm guessing. No, there's 2. Okay, that's 2 halves of the ejector mechanism. So yeah, bit strange. Anyway, there we go. So you can see we've got all the detail there. Lovely intake detail. Nice bit of detail on the engines, even though you're not going to see them unless you display one out of the aircraft. But, lovely detail on those pylons. Very nice indeed. As far as accuracy goes, I do not have a clue. I know nothing about the Tornado. But I've seen them built, as I say, they look like Tornadoes to me. It's not like when I look at certain other models, I look at them, oh god, you know, that should have a flat nose, or that canopy looks too tall, or that canopy looks too low, or those engines look to be in the wrong position, or too far apart, or whatever, or too small. So yeah, very nice indeed. But it's a lovely moulded kit. There's a little bit of flash here and there. You can see just a tiny little touches, like on that tyre there. It's just tiny little bits, but you know, it doesn't matter. Some people sort of really knock a kit if it's got a bit of flash on it. It doesn't really matter. If you're talking the Revell 32nd F18, I think that's a different story. When they're, you know, it's chunks of plastic you got to cut away. I think that's a different story. But a little bit of flashy in there, it's not a problem. You know, if you were building kits 40 years ago, it was just par for the course. So there we go. So there we are, and there's the other one there. So we got the other Sprue F there, and they're actually packaged like that. So they come. So when you look in the box, you think you've got both sets of wing tanks, but you haven't. There we are. So very nice indeed. Thank you very much, Phil, for sending me this. It's such a great price. I was absolutely amazed when you offered to do it, and really pleased you did. I'm glad I got this, and I'm going to be building this, I think, because it looks like a nice straightforward build, and it's not too many fine detailed parts. So I may be starting it sooner than later. But yeah, very nice indeed. So that's been the 1/32 scale Tornado ECR from Italeri. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.